Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy Zens. I'm back on the channel. How you doing? You doing good? Yeah, alright. Let's get into it. Alright, so today we're breaking down this crazy loop, one of my favorite loops that I made recently. We're gonna get into my thought process behind how. Okay. Alright, so this is me from the present editing this video in the morning. I ain't gonna cap on y'all. I messed this video up pretty bad. So just a few disclaimers. The mic is really messed up towards like the middle to the end. I don't really know what happened. I'm not gonna hold you. It sounds like I had like my air conditioner on or something because it gets pretty hot in here. So like I probably did that. But yeah, last announcement, me and Jordan's new drum kit just dropped officially. It's been out for like a week or two now, but officially today is going up on like Instagram, stuff like that. So definitely go check that out. Link in the description. Super dope samples in there by me and Jordan, and crazy drums. Yeah, if you're super versatile, it works for any beat really. And just super clean, hard-hitting drums like usual. All right, I talked enough already. Let's get back into the video. How I make my melodies, how I start certain chord progressions and stuff. And of course, I'm gonna drop all the sauce for y'all. You already know. I'm gonna show all the effects and stuff that I use. With that being said, guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first sound that I ended up using was from Analog V. So as you can see, literally the same chords for most of this really, and I kind of just changed it a little bit here. Let me actually change it to the right key. So look at the pattern of the notes here. I'm doing like the same C minor chord, and I'm just going up one right here for that little bit of tension on some parts, and then I go straight back down, and then I go to the major chord of the key, which is making it sound very dark towards the end with that chord change. So I do this a lot, switching from minor to major really quick towards the end of the bar, and it makes it sound super dark. It's one of the best things I do. I do it on guitar a lot too because it sounds very good on guitar. And other than that, I just added the little top melody here. As you can see, more tension notes being that they're only one semitone apart. So with the top notes here, I kind of just led the top notes into the next chord, so it kind of flows together a little bit, and the next chord isn't too abrupt. Kind of let your ears know that that chord is coming up, that really dark G major chord. So the preset I ended up using was the Ghost Bell from an analog lab bank called Lucky by Strela Sounds, and the designer behind this is the 44th Floor. Shout out to you, my guy. I am so sorry this took me so long making this video. I made this loop quite a while ago, and he sent me this a while ago. All the sounds in here are super dope. Definitely go check this out. Fire like vintage sounds in here, especially like the bells and the pads and stuff. Super hard for like Drake melodies, anything really. If you're very versatile and you get into a little bit of sound design, this is the perfect analog lab bank for you. So the next thing I did with the bells is I ran it through a bunch of plugins. So before we get to the plugins, I did in the second bar duplicate it, and I pitched it up an octave, and these play together on the second bar just for a little variation. So first I got Portal on the Warble Glitch preset. I have a little bit of spring reverb. I also have a little bit of chorus on here from the June 6 chorus. Super goated. Next thing I added was a gross beat preset that I made myself. I think I showed this in pretty much every video that I use it in. Yeah, it's very simple. Just cuts out the melody ever so slightly just to add a little bounce to it. And you just push the attack up to make it kind of pulsate a little bit. Really good effect. And the last thing I added was this really dope filter on it. It's the Disco House 2 preset. I messed with some of the parameters. I don't remember which ones I did. I kind of just messed with like the tamer knobs there. I didn't want to mess anything up. So yeah, definitely check this plug out. All right, so next up is the bells. I'm gonna kind of group all of these together because they're kind of doing the same thing, and I have them on the same mixer tracks or with similar presets. So this is what it sounds like. Alright, so all of these bells come from another Estrella Sounds pack. It's a short circuit one-shot kit, also from Estrella Sounds. Yeah, crazy sounds in here. I ended up using 3 of the bells from it. So this first bell is copying the same pattern that I did with the original melody. I just copy and pasted it over, and I just extended the notes. I believe I strummed it a bit too, as you can see here. So for effects, I took a little bit of the high end out, added a little bit of reverb, cranked it down to about 35-ish%. And of course I had to add some delay with Comeback Kid. It's actually on the default preset, and I just added my own little settings there. And lastly, I added a little bit of chorus, same preset. Alright, so for the second bell, did the same exact thing. Nothing's different here. The effects on it is a little bit different though. So we added reverb, added a little bit of Comeback Kid, changed the presets a little bit on that. I also added Portal on here with the Rhythm Crickets preset. And finally I added a filter on here. It's the Ratchet Club preset, and yeah, super fire. I think this makes up for most of the sounds that you're hearing in the final product. It really kind of like mangles the melody and makes it sound super different. So the last bell served as sort of like a delay. Basically, I sort of just copied over the top melody that I did from the original bass melody, and I just pitched it down like an octave, I believe. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And I think I added some extra notes, and I actually have this routed to the same mixer track as the first melody. So all right, so next up is the bass. Okay, so it kind of just repeats. I just changed up the second bar here. It's just a little bit different from the first bar here, just for a little bit of variation, a little bit of different bounce there. Nothing too crazy going on here. I'm kind of just following the root notes of the chord progression I laid down. And the bass comes from Coop the Truth's Ascension one-shot kit. The only other thing I did with the bass was take a little bit of the high end out. So I decided the sample didn't have enough bass in it, so I ended up adding this Reese bass. So yeah, it's pretty low in volume because it gets muddy down here with this G note right here. So, and I put a little beef on here. I used this preset here, and this preset is really aggressive, so I turned it down. And I put a little bit of Camel Crusher on here just for that regular distortion. So all right, so that's pretty much it for the melody, except for the textures and the little melodic accents that I added towards the end. Not a lot to break down here. This is kind of just going to show how simple it is to just add a few sounds and do a little bit of post-processing, and then you're good. A lot of these sounds are super simple. They're already processed for the most part from these one-shot kits. Most of these sounds are from Xynothing's kits, so definitely go check it out. Specifically, I've been using his newest kit, which is here, and I just used most of the textures from it and some of the percussion loops, chucked them in the background. Just use like a little reverb, sometimes chorus, things like that. Regardless of the textures, I'll get into some of the like little one shots I added in. One of the things I've been doing recently is adding like little runs from one shot kits. I just added a bunch of kalimbas basically. There's another kalimba here. This is from one of Coop the Truth's one shot kits, and this little spring guitar here. The only thing I did with this was I added a little automation. I did the same thing for the vocal here, which is a nice little touch that I added at the end. I don't know why I added it. It just sounds super dope together, so I just added it in there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other thing I ended up adding was this little flute phrase here, and this comes from a free flute sample pack from Prod by Enzo. Shout out to him. You can find it on YouTube, I believe. Crazy phrases in here. It's got the key labeled and stuff. Yeah, so I added it in here. Of course, it was a little too much going on. I actually believe it was kind of out of key on this part, so I kind of ducked this part out with the automation here and kind of brung it in. And the last bit of sauce I got for y'all is to mess with the channel pitch. You can do this by double clicking on your sample. You go to the little wrench icon here and you just enable main pitch. You'll be good to go. Then you go up here and you can mess with the automation by creating one. and pitching it down just a little bit. Here I did a really drastic one because I wanted it for a really dramatic effect, because that chord that I was talking about at the end, that G major chord, it really helps build up the tension. So I kind of drop it out with this sort of, I guess, tape stop effect you could say, but it's really just taking down the pitch of the main sample here, and it sounds pretty cool. Alright, with that being said, guys, that is it for the video. Hopefully you learned something here with the melody and stuff and me kind of breaking down each part. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, make sure you comment below anything you actually learned, and let me know some things I missed and some more ideas for videos. I need as many ideas for videos as possible, trust me. And yeah, with that being said, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.